Hello and welcome to Assessment 1 for Primary Science and Technology. My name is Charlotte and I will be presenting my physical model based on living things. So for this video, I'm going to be going over the model and demonstrate how the model works and how it embeds information related to the science syllabus for NESA, for New South Wales. And then I will be going into a bit more detail about how this model is related to the unit of work of living things at stage 3 where they are working on. This will involve how they research, plan, design, test, and present the model that I have created for this assessment. So I will show you how the model works. Okay, and in stage 3, the students have been learning about living things and the loss or introduction of animals to the Australian environment. So for this project, we've looked specifically at cane toads in Australia, and students have developed this interactive paper sliding model, which will show the cause and the effect of cane toads in the environment. So as you can see from the paper slide, there are no cane toads that are labelled across this front page. So we can see that we have some other animals here, the northern quolls, goannas, beetles, crocodiles, snakes. So as you can see, that's our front page. This is the environment they're in. There's a tab that says pull, and as we pull, it becomes a sliding piece of paper. We slide it out, and then we can see the after. So the before and the after, and this is the after. We have pictures of our cane toads. We have our other animals, which we can see are dead, and they are labelled as such. The environment stays the same, however, all the animals within the ecosystem have unfortunately not stayed the same. So when we talk about this model and why stage 3 have chosen to construct it this way, we are looking at the cause and effect relationship. So what has happened since cane toads have come to Australia? We know that when the larger predators, such as the goannas, the red belly snakes, the quolls, things like that, when they eat the toads, we know have poison under their skin, which in turn kills these larger predators, which have a really big impact on the overall ecosystem. And so we understand through this model that we can see that cane toads have a negative impact on the Australian environment by being introduced to our native animals. So during the unit of work on living things, when students are looking at the loss or introduction of animals and plants to the Australian environment, they're going to be meeting 3 outcomes in the syllabus. So the first outcome is where they need to identify and describe how the loss of or introduction of plants and animals affects the ecosystem. So essentially they are looking at how they can use scientific knowledge to create sustainable solutions. The second outcome that they need to be looking at is digital technology and design. So they need to be looking at how they can develop ideas, build prototypes, test and evaluate this model and modify it to meet the criteria. So they need to look at how they can embed their knowledge into a problem and a solution. And then finally, to create. So they need to be using note-taking, journaling, annotations, images, labels, things that will help visualize the design process and build that solution to the problem. So this assessment essentially wants students to research and understand the scientific knowledge, first of all, apply it by designing and building a model that reflects this knowledge and what the cause and effect or what the problem might be and what the solution might be, and then finally creating. So they need to present their work particularly in a multimodal format, but as they are in stage 3, they need to understand that there are a lot more factors that come into play when they need to present something. So to meet outcome 1, criterion 1, they are going to be doing some research, really diving into what the cane toad is, physical features of them, their lifestyle, behaviour, diet. All of these things are really important for them to understand. This will help them later on to create a model that is scientifically accurate. So they need to be doing research, they need to be finding data and using this data to inform their work. To meet criterion 2, outcome 2, this is where they begin building the prototype. So they need to develop ideas and show their working out. And in doing this, they are able to really put their thinking onto paper, essentially, so they can actually see what materials they might need, how they're going to go about it, and what is the best way to present their ideas. So this will give them some experience in seeing what is reasonable, what's measurable, and all of those sorts of factors. And then finally, for meeting criterion 3, so the multimodal presentation part of it, making sure that their designs have multiple forms of presenting something. So in this model, they're using images, they're using labels, they're using colors and all sorts of shapes. So things that are going to help the person looking at the model to understand that's what they're trying to portray, is the cause and effect relationship between cane toads and the effect it has on the Australian environment. So in this assignment, we're really, or in the unit of work in general, students across those 3 outcomes are going to be meeting other general capabilities and cross-curriculum priorities. So general capabilities in the curriculum, we're looking specifically at critical and creative thinking and literacy. So during this process of designing and creating, students are researching, they're analysing, they're solving problems, so they're being critical, and they're also planning and designing and choosing for their model. So that also incorporates creative thinking as well. And then in terms of literacy, it's really important that students are using subject-specific and Tier 3 vocabulary, which is related to the science syllabus. So they need to be looking at things like predator, environment, diet, all those sort of terms. They need to be able to comprehend the research that they're reading and also creating written texts in a way that is also meaningful for their readers. Other general capabilities, which are including digital literacy and ethical understanding. So digital literacy, which sort of is a big part of this project, they are finding and analysing these sources, and they're using the technology to help them build the model. So whether or not they are creating a digital version or not, in that design process and in the research process, they're relying on sources from online mostly to inform them about how they're going to go about designing this and what choices they're going to make to show information about the cane toads. And then finally, ethical understanding. So students are going to need to be able to understand the impact and responsibility of humans over the environment to be able to meaningfully complete this assignment. And then finally, when it comes to cross-curriculum priorities, a big core part of this sort of topic is sustainability. So students are beginning to understand and form opinions about the environment, and also looking at how non-native animals are affecting the sustainability of the environment. So that's really going, like, the topic of introducing animals and plants into the ecosystem. How does this affect the ecosystem? What are people doing about it? What can we do about it? This is really a big part of sustainability. So we're really ticking off that checkbox there. And then finally, Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander histories and cultures. We, as a teacher, I'm able to incorporate this or have incorporated this in their unit of work, specifically looking at concepts like caring for country and the knowledge they have about native animals. So using these concepts throughout research and through class discussions and activities, students can deepen their understanding about why this topic is relevant, why it's important, and use it to develop their model in an effective way. So And that is it. Thank you.